Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're strapping in and riding the absolute emotional roller coaster that is being a cricket superfan during a high-stakes Pakistan versus West Indies test match. We are breaking down a passionate, chaotic, and honestly incredibly insightful analysis straight from a creator who lives and breathes this sport. So if you've ever felt your heart rate spike over a simple game of bat and ball, you are going to deeply relate to the wild swings of euphoria, panic, and sheer comedic frustration we're about to unpack. Let's get right into the drama because, well, this match had absolutely everything. Okay, let's just dive into this right where the tension is the absolute thickest. 14. That is the exact number of runs our star batter, Babar Azam, needs to cross the finish line and break a massive, agonizing drought. It sounds so small, doesn't it? I mean, just 14 runs? But in the context of Test cricket, when a player is standing on the edge of a milestone they haven't touched in years, those 14 runs might as well be a 14-mile hike up a sheer cliff. The source captures this perfectly, the absolute dread that a single tiny mistake could just reset the clock all over again.
Section 1, a brilliant batting comeback.
The tale of Abdullah Shafiq is just a fascinating contrast. The source highlights a pretty massive structural frustration here. Shafiq was sidelined, arguably punished in test matches, purely because of his poor form in white ball cricket. But then there's a twist of fate. Shan Masood suffers a broken finger. Suddenly, Shafiq is pulled right back into the red ball squad. And what does he do? He delivers a beautiful, commanding century. It brilliantly illustrates the resilience of a player stepping up when thrown into the deep end, essentially proving that format-specific slumps really shouldn't dictate a player's entire career trajectory.
And you know, it wasn't just Shafiq holding the fort. The entire top order came out swinging with this incredibly positive intent that put the West Indies on the back foot immediately. Azan set the tone right out of the gate with 3 consecutive fours, practically forcing an early bowling change. We saw beautiful straight drives, confident pull shots, aggressive cuts. The source creator was absolutely glowing about this. This wasn't just survival batting, this was sheer aggressive stroke play. They weren't just playing the ball, they were dominating the bowlers and taking complete control of the session.
Section 2, chasing the elusive century.
Which brings us to this incredibly agonizing number 4. It has been a painful 4-year wait since 2022 for Babar Azam to cross the triple-digit mark in Test cricket. And when you're a fan of a world-class player, watching them endure a multi-year drought is just torturous. The source creator literally mentions being ready to pass out from the stress, utterly terrified that a sudden run-out or a careless shot might ruin everything right at the finish line. That 4-year gap makes those remaining 14 runs feel infinitely heavier.
So, the crucial point here is captured perfectly in this incredibly relatable, completely hyperbolic quote from the creator. Please try to play an innings of 250 runs. Don't let a century become a 4-year ration. The big fear here is complacency. There's this deeply ingrained trauma among fans that once a Pakistani batter hits 100, they just feel like their job is done, their quota for the next few years is totally fulfilled, and they just throw their wicket away. The plea here is for an elite mindset. Don't just be satisfied with 100. Aim for a double century. Aim for 250. Just keep batting.
This sudden shift to disciplined, dominant batting was so shocking to the fan system that they jokingly had to credit it to some mythical, behind-the-scenes locker room motivation. The creator humorously suggested that former captain Sarfaraz must have given them the speech of a lifetime, pushing them to finally adopt this positive intent. The joke escalated so wonderfully that the creator flat out declared, "Sarfaraz for Prime Minister." It's just a hilarious way of coping with success when you're so used to failure. You just have to attribute it to some magical, unseen force in the dressing room.
Section 3, unsung heroes and spin.
And this brings us to the 340-run coma. I absolutely love how this illustrates the sheer panic of the fan experience. The creator describes literally going silent, just sitting in a trance-like coma when the West Indies reached 340 runs in their innings. Why? Because historically, if an opposing team crosses 350 or 400, the psychological pressure almost always causes a massive batting collapse in response. The fan was terrified they were watching the game slip completely out of reach.
Enter the real unsung hero of the match, spinner Sajid Khan. Now, usually when bowling to the opposing team's final few batters, the tail-enders, the bowling attack leaks a frustrating 50 to 70 runs, completely wasting whatever advantage they had. But Sajid Khan stepped up, bowled a magnificent spell, and quickly wiped out the tail, grabbing 4 crucial wickets for minimal runs. He basically single-handedly pulled the superfan right out of their coma and saved the team from chasing a completely impossible 400-plus target. To really drive home how absolutely crucial adaptability is, the source contrasts Sajid Khan's brilliant, successful execution with the incredibly frustrating performance of Imam al-Haq. While Sajid adapted and conquered, Imam repeatedly fell victim to his known weakness against short-pitch bowling. The creator notes how totally baffling it is that a professional at this level continues to waste time without fixing a glaring weakness that even domestic-level bowlers can easily exploit. It's really a tale of two mindsets, one evolving to secure the team's position and the other just stubbornly repeating the exact same mistakes.
Section 4. The DRS Disaster.
The source creator practically coined a new term here, which we're going to call the Mohammad Rizwan Review. The definition? A wicketkeeper's confidently incorrect advice that practically guarantees a lost team review. The frustration here is just palpable. You have bowlers screaming that a batter is out, begging the captain to review it, and Rizwan, from right behind the stumps, confidently insisting they shouldn't take it, only for replays to show it was absolutely out. It is a deadpan, recurring nightmare for the fans.
And the crazy part is, this isn't a one-off issue. This brilliantly illustrates a staggering 5-year timeline of fan suffering. The creator traces their history of complaining, from year 1's initial confusion to year 3's growing anger at bowlers being ignored, all the way to year 5, which is where we are now. The fan is now literally begging management to drop a star player solely for his DRS incompetence. Not for his batting, not for his glove work, but purely to set an example to future generations of wicketkeepers that bad review advice will not be tolerated. It's hilarious, but it really stems from deep, genuine frustration over unprofessionalism in these super crucial moments.
So, the crucial point culminates in what the superfan calls the absolute ultimate golden rule for DRS success. Do the exact opposite of what Rizwan says. It is the absolute pinnacle of losing faith in a player's tactical judgment. The creator argues that giving no feedback at all would honestly be better than giving confidently wrong feedback. When the stakes are this high, this comedic, totally absurd formula seems like the only logical way forward for the captain.
Section 5. The Winning Mindset.
The core philosophy the creator took away from this performance is simple, but it is vital. Attack is the best form of defense. Against smaller 7th or 8th ranked teams, you simply cannot play passively. The source notes that when you dominate your opponents, when you aggressively push back, you force them into a shell where they inevitably make mistakes. It's a philosophy that applies perfectly to sports, and honestly, to life in general. Sitting back and absorbing pressure, that only leads to trouble. To summarize this winning mentality, it requires dominating the opponent with positive intent across every single session, and purposefully avoiding those horrific 37 runs for 7 wickets collapses of the past. But as the creator humorously points out, relying on this team to maintain this mindset is always a massive gamble. Their consistency and mood swings are completely unpredictable, literally like the phases of the moon. One day they look like absolute world beaters, and 3 days later, you just have no idea what mindset they've shown up with.
Which brings us right back to where we started, leaving us completely on the edge of our seats. Will Babar Azam survive those final 14 runs to finally get his century? Will the team actually maintain this lunar phase positive intent, or will that familiar anxiety of a total collapse creep right back in? The beauty of sports is that we just don't know the answer until the next ball is bowled. So what do you think will happen? Drop your predictions below. Until next time, keep analyzing, keep questioning, and thanks so much for joining us on The Explainer.